Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to March Madness Friday. It is here on the Brevard Sports Network, but you know what? We are still talking soccer and the pitch, and I am honored today to be joined by Brevard Sports Network's 2020-2021 Boys Soccer Coach of the Year. He hails from the Viera Hawks, and he is none other than Nick Robinson. Coach, first of all, congratulations on an outstanding season. And let me ask you this. Let me just get this question out of the way. As a guy that's a big soccer guy, do you follow March Madness? You follow the basketball?
I do. Actually, I was about to ask you who ended up winning out of UF and Virginia.
Florida came back.
And
they won it in overtime. So, yeah, the Gators get the win. Well, Coach, this year, 18-2-2 this season. That's the most wins, at least by my research, that I could find in program history in one season. And the first time ever you are regional champs. Take us through this season, and I'll kind of jump in with some questions because I think there were some games that were some turning points for you.
Definitely, yeah. So, obviously ending last season, we lost, I want to say 9 seniors, but weren't just 9 seniors, there were 9 very, very good players. So there was always going to be a lot of question marks kind of coming into this season, who was going to step up. And, I think at the end of the day, the results at the end of the season kind of speak for themselves. But, it's a testament to this group of players and what they were able to do. And, throughout the season, like you said, there were certain games that kind of pushed us in the right direction. And I think the biggest learning curve for us early was the Titusville game. We had a couple of good wins to start the season. I think we beat Heritage opening night at home 4-0, which, we've never beaten them. I don't think we've actually beaten them for a while, but, to beat them 4-0. And then, I think mentally maybe we got a little bit carried away. And then we went to Titusville. It's always an extremely tough place to play. And we obviously were missing a couple of plays as well. But, we had a bit of a reality check and a bit of a wake-up call. And then, in my opinion, from there, the boys reacted the way I wanted them to. It was, just never look back really from that game, I think. We had a lot of, younger boys step up. Where the senior guys showed a lot of leadership. And, that little bit of adversity that we had to face away at Titusville, I think was probably the kind of the step in the right direction for us.
You had a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior this year. You had 4 guys with double-digit tallies on the season. A freshman, a sophomore, junior, and a senior. But that really speaks to some quality depth that your team had this year. You pitched 13 clean sheets this year. You got some good guys coming back. But that senior leadership you talked about, guys like Johnny Unasa. Talk about these seniors.
Yeah, Johnny had a special season. He really did. This last season, he had a couple of growing pains that he had to go through, and he's been a part of the program for all 4 years. But last year against Merritt Island, we had a rough game up at their place. It was more just kind of a bit more management from me and Derek, and ensuring that these guys understood that. They were taking over the program, and their leadership is what the younger players were going to be looking towards. And, John was phenomenal this year on and off the field, great leader, contributed in all aspects. He worked hard defensively, he sets the tone. I think he finished with 10 assists, 12 goals.
Yeah.
He really had a part to play in almost everything we did this season.
Coach, if there was ever a game that ended up in a tie that felt like a win, was that Merritt Island game. And you mentioned the game last year when you went to Merritt Island. You trailed early in this one, 2-0.
Yeah.
And it was just really a tale of 2 halves. And John gets the big goal there to get you guys to within 1. And then obviously you get the tying goal. How big of a game was that for you coming down the stretch? Because in the game previous to that, I don't know that maybe you did, maybe you didn't. They say it's like, what's the expression? Ties are like, maybe kissing your sister on the cheek. It's like you don't really get anything from it. You wanted to beat the Melbourne Bulldogs. You got the tie with them. But then you come back and get that tie against Merritt Island. But it was the way you got it that really seemed to propel your team.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the biggest difference between this Viera team and previous years is we were just relentless and wanted to keep going and keep going and keep pushing. And credit to Merritt Island, the first half, I thought we were poor, but it was a testament to how well they played in the first half as well. And they deservingly so should have been 2-0 up. It could have probably been more than that. But, again, like the leadership, John, Niles, Connor, those guys understood, at 2-0 at home, we always fancy our chances in being able to score goals. And, whether it's late, early, we were able to score two, big late goals that, they're kind of memories that you remember for the rest of your life, the way it happened as well. It's, it's kind of special for the boys. But, the other incentive there was, I don't think we've lost a home game in 2 years. I actually think the last home game we lost was the district final on penalties to Melbourne 2 seasons ago. So, it was also ensuring that we wanted to keep that record going. And, and again, just testament to the boys this year, just never gave up, kept going all the way. And
what'd you tell them going into that February 10th district final against Melbourne? Obviously, look, Melbourne's always a good team, but you've also caught some bad breaks in games against Melbourne. Yeah. I mean, to say that you've been unlucky at times is really understating some of the games that you guys have played. But what'd you tell them going into this one?
Well, the funny thing is this, right? The irony is the 0-0, the 0-0 tie we played at their place. I thought that was the best I thought that was actually the best we probably played all season. I thought we, deserved to win that game pretty comfortably. I'd say, 2-0 would have been a fair scoreline in my opinion. And then, the district final, the irony was, Melbourne were probably better for 60 minutes, 70 minutes of the game. And fortunately, we had, 2 special moments from Max. And then, it was a resilient defensive display as well from us. But we knew, just given how well we played against them at their place, that we were going to be able to create opportunities. And again, there were just 2 special individual moments for Max. And, fortunately, this time around, we were just able to grind it through. And again, it was another game that came down right to the last second. But I think the call was right at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Oh, no, it was right. I've seen the video from a couple different angles. And no, the right call was made in that particular game. And that may not endear me to Bulldog Nation, but I've seen the video. So I've seen the actual visual proof. I want to go back to your roster for a minute because this team really feels to me like that they have built the future for guys. I'm going down at, Lucas and Johnny and company have really seemed to build the future moving forward. Not that the future wasn't built, but now to know that, hey, guess what? This is how far you can get. You've experienced a Final Four. As you talk to the guys that are coming back next year, what's the message heading in to the off-season training?
Exactly the same intensity that we came in this preseason, and all the boys came in. And I think Johnny in the interview, he said to you at the start of the season, I said to the boys, our objective this year is we want to get to the state final. And I think John was a little bit, or a few of the boys kind of looked at me a bit weary-eyed and maybe didn't quite believe in themselves the way I believed in them at the beginning of the season. I think, losing all the guys that we did the year before, again, like that culture was there, but being able to get over the hurdle and take that next step, what these boys were able to do and come together, with guys like Connor, John and Nasser. Again, it's just it's a tough one to just call out single individuals because the leadership came from a lot of guys this season, and that's the most important part. In previous years, we maybe had. We had 1 or 2 leaders, but this year we had guys that were team first throughout the entire season. And that's what it takes really at the end of the day. If you want to, again, go to the Final Four, go to the state final or win the regional championship and the district championship. But, again, the hardest thing for us was, when I took over probably 4 or 5 years ago, was, I wanted to win a district championship. I wanted to get over the hurdle over Melbourne. And I kind of use this example with the boys, trying to stop that dynasty was like turning a big wheel, and it was never going to happen overnight. And I think, all the boys knew that in all the teams over the last 4 or 5 years. It's hard to break a team that, again, has won 9 district championships in 10 years. They've done a fantastic job, but it was never going to be a 1-year fix. And to be honest, with how good Melbourne are, it was never going to be probably a 2 or 3 year fix. But we feel like now we're in a place where that culture's triggered down. We know how to get over the hump. We know what to do in emotional duress type situations. And again, it's not just the team this year, but this was the team that was able to finally get over that hurdle. So.
And that's, you look at some of these statistics of plus 85 in goal differential, outstanding defensively this season. Of course, Andrew Sanger in goal for you guys. And you look at the 13 clean sheets. All right, Coach, I know you got to get going here. So before we let you go, we need to know a little bit about you because, you are, Space Coast United. We know you coach over there.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about you off the pitch. Tell us about what you do. What do you do to relax, man?
I don't get much time to relax, to be honest. With obviously my U17 boys at Space Coast, the ECNL team. It's a very good team. I think we're like 13th or 14th in the country right now. So again, I feel like I've been blessed this last few years with some of the teams I've had. So I'm kind of just loving the moment of being able to coach great teams this last couple of years. It's been a blessing for me. But in terms of me personally, just being able to relax, I wouldn't say there's one particular thing, but I enjoy going to the gym in my off time. I like a bit of gardening and landscaping, which is probably a weird thing. But other than that, man, I don't get too much time to relax. So.
Well, I know we got an opportunity to meet one of your small ones in an interview this year. So I know you're a family man first and foremost, and I know that's huge. I love seeing your family at the game, and love seeing kids run around the field. I think it's great that they do that.
Yeah, he loves it. He was he wasn't able to make the district final, so that was kind of a rough one not having him there, but he made it there to the regional final, so he was able to lift the trophy with the boys. And I know it meant a lot for me for as accepting as the boys were with having him around. So I know he loved that and being able to look up to those boys this year. So that was great.
Final question for you here. And we're here with the Brevard Sports Network, Brevard County Boys Soccer Coach of the Year, Nick Robinson from the Viera Hawks. Fill in the blank here. The state of Brevard County boys soccer is blank.
Say it again. Sorry, say it again.
The state of Brevard County boys soccer is blank.
Oof. I would say it's very underrated, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Very underrated. I don't think we get enough love from the Max Preps rankings, if I'm truly honest, based on, there's more than, obviously you got, the big hitters like Merritt Island, Melbourne, even some of the teams like O'Galley that made a lot of noise this year. That's probably the biggest thing for me. I just don't think the high school teams in this area get as much love as maybe in some of the metropolitan city areas that, in my opinion, we're just as good as. So
I would agree with that. I definitely would agree with that. Number 35 in the country, number 19 in the state, number 3 in the Class 6A. Congratulations, Coach Nick Robinson, on what is the best year in the history of Viera soccer. Congratulations, and man, enjoy your weekend and enjoy the NCAA tournament.
Will do. Thanks, Alan. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. For Nick Robinson, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski. And go ahead. I know you got to go, Coach. Stay tuned. Coming up tonight right here on Brevard Sports Network, Hunter Steele will go one-on-one with former Melbourne standout basketball player Max Fiedler, who is now at Rice University. Have a great day, everybody.
See you guys.